I'm going to show you 14 different examples on how to evaluate expressions such as this, given certain values. And I'm going to put a link to this document as well as chapters that's going to skip ahead. Like if you want to skip problem number 1, you want to go straight to problem number 2, I'll put chapters so you can easily find any of these problems and just skip ahead. So in the first example, notice that we have a problem is separated by a semicolon. So the problem ends here, and we're going to use x equal to 1 and y equal to 2. So these are my given values, and I'm going to replace these in place of the variables over here. So for y, you can see y is 2. So I'll replace y with 2, write my division sign, and 2, bring that down, plus the x value is equal to 1. So again, step 1, you're going to substitute your given values. And once you do that, you're going to follow the order of operations. And the order of operations is 4 steps: parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide from left to right, add and subtract from left to right. So we're going to follow those order of operations. The only extra step we're going to be doing is you're going to substitute first. And once you substitute, you can see is essentially just follow the order of operations. So here I know I'm going to divide before I add, because again, division is before addition. So step 3 is first before step 4. So when I divide this out, I get 1 plus 1, and 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Here's my next example. So I just put a box around it because you can see whenever there's a semicolon, you can see that that's pretty much separating this given information with the problem itself. So here it says A is 10. So I'm going to replace A with 10. So 10 minus 5 minus, and how much is B? B is 4. And using the order of operations, since I only have subtraction, you always work your way from left to right, which means do whatever pops up first. So in this case, I'm going to do 10 minus 5, which is 5. Bring down my minus 4, and then 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. All right, p squared plus m is the next example. So again, there's my semicolon there. So this is the problem. Use m equal to 1 and p is equal to 5. So p is 5, so I'll replace p with 5. 5 squared plus m, which is 1. And in order of operations, exponents is before addition. 5 squared, that just means 5 times 5, because 2 of these multiplied together is 25, plus 1 gives me 26. Next example, y plus 9 minus x. How much is y? Y is 3. So 3 plus 9 minus, how much is x? X equals 1. So substitute first. Order of operations, we're going to add and subtract from left to right, which means I'm going to do this first. I get 12 minus 1, and 12 minus 1 is equal to 11. Example number 5, we're going to replace, again, this is the problem here. Replace m with 1. So 1 plus, how much is p? P is 5. So 5 divided by 5. What's first? Add or divide. Division is first, so 5 divided by 5 is 1. I bring down my 1 plus, and 1 plus 1, I can see, it gives me a total of 2. Next example, y squared minus x. So again, this is the problem here. Remember, the semicolon is just separating it. So now use x equals 7 and y equals 7. So I'm going to replace y with 7. So y is 7 minus x, which is also 7. We have exponent and subtract. Exponent is before subtraction, so 7 squared means 7 times 7, which is 49. And then 49 minus 7, we get 42. Example number 7 is right here. Z, and then in parentheses, x plus y. If you see a number next to parentheses, that just means that z is being multiplied with whatever's in the parentheses. So it's z plus, or z times x plus y. So these are the same thing. You're just not going to see the multiplication time sometimes next to it. So if you see that, automatically means multiply. And now I'm going to replace my 3 values. X is 6, y is 8, and z is 6. So z is 6, so I'm going to put 6 here for that, times, how much is x? X is 6. And how much is y? Y is 8. So take your time when you're substituting. Make sure you put them in the correct spots. It's not always in alphabetical order. And now, what's first? Do I multiply or do parentheses? So parentheses is always the first step. So in the parentheses, I'm going to get 6 plus 8, which is 14. And now, all I got to do is 6 times 14, which is the only thing left. So 6 times 14 will give me 60 and 24, which is 84. All right, this is example number 8. We're going to be adding here, so you can see x plus y plus y. Use x 9 and y is 10. So y is, x is 9, so replace x with 9, plus y is 10. So I'll replace each of these y with a 10. And then order of operations, we're going to simplify left to right when we're adding and subtracting. So here we're going to get 19 plus 10. And when I add this, I get a total of 29. All right, example number 9. So here we're doing p to the third power, or p cubed, plus 10 plus m. And here are given values. M is 9 and p is 3. So replace p with 3. That's my exponent, plus 10. Plus, how much is m? M is 9. And now, evaluate what you have. I have exponents, add, and add. Exponents is before addition, so I'm going to calculate this. And remember, 3 to the third power means 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. I bring down the rest of the problem, plus 10 plus 9. And then we're going to add from left to right. So this plus this is 37. Plus 9, you can see it's going to give me a total of 46. All right, here's example number 10. We're going to be doing 6q plus m minus m. M is 8, q is 3. So replace q with 3. And notice here we have a number next to a letter. Be careful, because 6q does not mean I'm going to put the 3 here, and now this becomes 63. That is actually incorrect. So if you see a 6 or a number next to a letter, that means that those two things are being multiplied together. So 6 times q in this case, plus m minus m. So this means that when I replace q, it's 6 times 3, that's what that means, plus m, which is 8, so 8 minus 8. And then we have multiply, add, subtract. What's first? Multiplication, so we get 18 plus 8 minus 8. And then when I combine these two together, I'm just going to bring the work over here. So I'm going to get 18 plus 8 minus 8. So when I combine these, because we add and subtract from left to right, I'm going to get 26 minus 8. When I subtract this, I get 18. Here I have example 11. We're doing p squared m divided by 4. So if you see letters next to each other like this, remember p squared m means p squared is being multiplied with m, and then I put divided by 4. So this means multiply these two amounts. So I'm going to replace p with 7 in this case. So I get 7 squared times, how much is m? 4. And we're dividing it by 4. So now I have exponent, multiply, divide. So out of these, exponents is first. 7 squared means 7 times 7, which is 49. Bring down the rest of the problem. And now I have multiply and divide left. And now I'm going to work my way from left to right, because when you're on step 3, which is multiplication and division, you always do left to right order. So here, 49 times 4. I'm going to finish that over here. I get 196, and then I bring down my divided by 4. So again, I just calculated 49 times 4, 196, and I brought down the divided by 4. And now all I have to do is do 196 divided by 4, which gives me a total of 49. Example number 12, you can see here, we're doing y, which is 10, minus, and then in parentheses, I have z, which is 2, plus z again is 2 to the second power. So step 1 is parentheses. So in the parentheses, you can see here I have addition and an exponent. Exponent is always first before addition. So I'm going to put 2 plus 4, because 2 squared means 2 times 2, which is 4. And now next step, I'm still working in the parentheses, because you got to keep getting down to a single number there. When I add this, I get 6. And you can see 10 minus 6. When I do that, I get an answer 4. All right, next example 13. We are doing this one right here. So I'm going to replace my values. Z is 7, so 7 minus, and then in parentheses I have y, which is 3. 3 divided by 3 minus 1. So order of operations, always do parentheses, and in here I have division and subtraction. Division is first. So I get 7 minus 1 minus 1. And then 1 minus 1, again, still working in the parentheses, I get 0. So now I have 7 minus 0, which equals 7. And then here's the last example, number 14. The problem is right here. So I have y plus x. So y is 1 and x is 1. So 1 plus 1 in parentheses, divided by 2, and then plus 1. So order of operations, we do parentheses first. So this is going to give me 2. And I bring down the rest, divided by 2, plus 1. What's next? Division is before addition. So I divide this, I get 1. Bring down my remaining 1 plus 1, and when I add that, I get 2. So that was 14 examples on evaluating expressions that involve whole numbers.